Because if you do the thing every day, you'll get better at the thing that you're doing every day. Period. I've never seen it not happen.
Period.
I've never seen somebody do the same thing every day and they get worse at it. All right, listen, if you are a coach consultant, I know something about you. The average is you make less than $5,000 a month, okay? And you never, ever get to $20,000 a month. I think the exact number is $4,524 a month. That's your average. But most coaches, consultants never get to the $20,000. But the number one reason is because you're having a hard time attracting clients. You need client attraction. Well, the good news is my friend, my coach, my mentor helped me make $35,000 in less than a week. And it was all the information from his paid ad playbook, Mr. Marquell Russell. He has the receipts to vouch, including myself, okay? Listen, he helps you attract clients. You need the paid ad playbook. If you want to get 50 to 100 new leads every single day, you're going to need the paid ad playbook. To this date, his clients have generated over $500 million in sales, $500 million. And he's giving you this paid ad playbook for free, absolutely free, 100% off, just for our Social Proof listeners. Listen, so if you are a coach, a consultant, a service provider, a course creator, and you want to get people to pay you $3,000 to $10,000 for your product or service, for your expertise, you need to go to socialproofgift.com. It's a gift for you. Socialproofgift.com or text proof to 904-447-5274. All right, let's get to the episode.
Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast.
Don't act new when there's people here.
Hey!
Anyway, go ahead. You can do
Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast with Donni Wiggins and David Shands, where we talk about...
Go ahead, show out.
Donni and David version, where we talk about a whole lot of dope things that Donni gets to talk about in great detail, and Dave just kind of sits here and asks questions.
That's a fact. So my first question is, how was your week?
My week was awesome. I went to the World Series.
Really?
Yeah.
You like baseball?
I don't. But you know why it was so special? Because it was my grandmother's bucket list item. And unfortunately, she passed away before I was born, never got to do it. So my mom had always wanted to do it in her honor. And she was able to go. And this month was my grandmother's birthday as well. So it was like a special moment. So, yeah, a group of us went to the World Series. It was good.
Anything else you do?
Yeah, I got to host the Content Creation Bootcamp.
You did.
I did. Was anybody there? Did I hold it down?
Yeah.
I don't hear enough noise. Like the cameras got...
It's low-key two different groups. So we have the Morning Meetup group, which is here today. The Morning Meetup group. Yes, sir. The people I've been telling y'all to join our community. How many you saw the podcast and then you said, I'm going to join? You joined the Morning Meetup off of the podcast. Make some noise. And now you're here. That's amazing. Yes. So, and then we had the Content Creation Bootcamp, which is a whole nother.
Yeah. So, how was your week?
Was that all for your week?
Is there something that I'm missing
I don't
that we
know.
talked about?
It seems like 7 days. You went to the World Series and you hosted an event.
Yeah, I went to the World Series. Oh, and I launched my Launch Your Coaching Business in 5 Days workshop.
Tell me about it.
That just happened.
Tell me about it.
It's amazing. So I literally just kicked off day one with my VIPs today. So we're not super deep into it, but let me tell you, they are about to get this work.
I bet.
This is my first event in 5 years. I have not hosted like my own single event. You and I have done things, but I don't do events. I don't do events for myself. So this is my first event in 5 years, and I'm super excited.
Why don't you do events though?
Okay. Let me tell you like I told them. I stopped doing events because the ticket price was always somewhere between $250 to maybe $500, right? And I told my VIPs, I'm like, hey guys, I'm doing this event, but I don't really do events because people never get results. The majority of the people never get results.
From events.
And so they were all like looking at me like, so wait, and why are we here? Right? Are you? Why are we here? And what I mean by that is, look, before I even go, I don't even have to explain it. Raise your hand if you have ever in your life gone to a conference and you are there bright and early for the whole event. You've taken all of these great notes and you go home and do nothing with it. Raise your hand. Let me just see.
Wow.
No result.
Majority of the room.
Right? Raise your hand if in the last 12 months you've purchased a course or an ebook or a guide or a downloadable of some sort and you haven't even opened it.
Raise your hands higher. I'd see some people like this.
Be proud, own it.
We see you.
I know this. I know that this happens because my avatar, for my client avatar, my ideal client looks a lot like this audience, right? So they're me, they're a reflection of me. And I have attended so many conferences that I have delayed actually implementing and executing on. Like, I will literally find a journal and be like, oh my God, this is where those notes are. And so I told them that my focus has been on higher ticket things because when you invest at a certain level, you execute at a different level, right? So I stopped the events. So I literally made them make a commitment to me today. Everybody who was on VIP, I'm like, you guys are the pioneers of my live events. I don't want you to make a commitment to yourself in this moment because we're comfortable letting ourselves down.
That's a fact.
I want you to make the commitment to me. You're excited to work with me, then you need to commit to me to get your result. You signed up, you're in this room. You're in this room for a result. Commit to getting it. So I am excited. I want to know if that pep talk helped and if we get more results at the end of this. I'm turned up. Do you hear me?
I love it. I love it. So I think you're, in terms of, so what are you teaching in your challenge? Because I think you are definitely the best at what you do in terms of teaching entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So what's the challenge about?
So this is the Launch Your Coaching or Consulting Business in 5 Days workshop, right? So what I really want
Can someone launch their coaching and consulting business in 5 days?
Yeah, we're about to have a bunch of people do it. Absolutely.
Walk me through the 5 days.
So what we're going to be focused on first is one of the things that is a trigger for me professionally in this space is the high number of coaches and consultants that are on the internet today with garbage programs. Just garbage programs.
For sure.
They're not getting a result. You're not helping anybody. And it's typically because you haven't successfully received this result. You quit your job today and you're a business coach.
On how to quit your job.
You know, I had someone who...
You just quit your job.
You just quit your job, right? I literally had a business coach apply to work with me that I had to turn down because they didn't even have their business registered. What are you coaching people to do? You're a business coach. What are you coaching people to do, right? Their business wasn't even legally registered. They didn't have a business bank account themselves. And I'm like, you got to actually start a business and let it operate successfully. Amazing. So I want to go back to the basics. I want to go back to the very beginning because we like to skip so far over the basics and then wonder why we're not executing and excelling in our ideas. And it's because we want to get straight to the information. We want to get straight to the course, straight to the coaching program, straight to the result when we got to kind of come back. And so I'm going to help over the next 5 days. I'm going to help these entrepreneurs become crystal clear in their ideas. Like, you will not doubt what it is that you bring to the table. You will not doubt your level of skill set. And I'm going to be really open with some of them. Like, you're not ready to teach that yet. How about we approach this angle first?
That's a fact.
Right? How about we approach that? So we're going to go through everything, like what you need to start your coaching program, how to track your clients, how to price your offer, what your offer should be. Coaching doesn't have to just be like one-on-one phone calls. People don't even know that they're coaching. Like, if you're giving advice to someone, you own a t-shirt brand or a salon and you're giving advice to somebody about how to start their own thing because you've done it successfully, that's coaching, right? Or if you're giving somebody constantly the plug for giving fashion advice, you could literally start a fashion consultation business. And so I'm just opening eyes and opening mindsets, and we're going to develop some mindsets because you are not qualified to coach anybody if you're not being coached. If you have never been coached before, you should not be coaching anybody else.
Take that note. And I think the core of it is when you're coaching somebody, you're asking them to pay you for their expertise, meaning you're paying me because you want to do what I did. But if I'm taking your money to teach you, that should be one of the steps that I did.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So I feel comfortable asking people for money because I give money to coaches. But you should feel uncomfortable saying what you really need to do is find a coach. And you don't have a coach.
Yeah.
Meaning you're not eating your own cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're telling people what to do, but you're not willing to do the thing that you're telling other people to do.
Mm-hmm.
Which you should be ashamed of yourself. And I think what you were talking about, like really going back to the basics, which I think people need to understand is that when you're really, if you notice people that at the successful level, they really do the basics over and over again. They just perfect them basics. I haven't done anything super fancy. It's just the basics. Think about it. Think about the morning meetup. We have a monthly theme and every day of the week supports the theme of the month. It's nothing fancy. It's just a core principle that I learned that your messaging needs to be consistent. Does that make sense? Your messaging needs to be consistent. Your brand, the stuff that you do should be consistent.
Yeah.
So we have a coaching program, but I've seen so many coaching programs, the offering isn't consistent with what they're initially coaching. You're teaching people how to do all this other stuff. I'm just saying the theme of the month should align with the theme that we're talking about today.
Yeah.
It's just the basics. You do the basics over and over again.
You got to go back to the basics. Like literally, a lot of times, whether we're in coaching or consulting or any type of business, we're trying to do so much at a high level that you don't have to do. Like let the high level people do high level stuff. And that doesn't mean that you're not a high level person, but there are people where the higher level activity comes easy for them.
For sure.
But for you, it might be hours upon hours of studying and testing and trialing. I don't go super high level. I don't have to because I've been able to figure out how to be really, really successful at this level, right? So sometimes
I got a point.
see, he's all cutting me off. There he go, cutting me off again. Go ahead. What's your point?
Nah, they're going to kill me in the comments. Go ahead. Please proceed. I just got excited about something.
Yeah, no. Like operate in your lane at your level. Like obviously you want to grow and develop. And as an entrepreneur, you're going to evolve over time. But you don't have to know everything about a subject in order to be a 7-figure income earner. We've proven that. I don't know everything there is to know about business, but what I do know, I know very, very well. And for one person, that might be very high level information, but I can go into a completely different room and they're like, we've been doing this for 10 years, right? I've known these principles for the last 5 years. So the level of information that you know is relative. The value of that information is also relative. All you have to do is find someone who knows less than you.
Facts.
Someone who knows less than you. You want to make your point?
Absolutely. I've been waiting.
Go ahead.
So, and I'm thinking back through all that I've done as an entrepreneur and all that I'm doing, and I think this would be good advice for you. Is you should find a team full of people who only know the basics, and this is what I mean. So I can, the basics of what we do is, I know we just have to have a good product and drive people to the product. And when people are on the product, we just got to serve them. That's the basics, right? I didn't say nothing fancy, did I? You have a good product. You got to get people to sample the product or be a part of the product. And when they have the product, you give them more than their money's worth. It's just the basics, right? But in terms of events, how many people think events are complex? They are, for me. But Christina's putting this together. I know that in her head, she knows, well, the basics, we just need good lighting and the colors need to be consistent. So I'm looking at all this. I'm like, wow, you got that. You got this. Oh, the balloons. How you think of the balloons? Where you get yellow balloons with gray and orange? In her head, she's thinking, oh, well, it's just a basic. You got to have something there. You have to have something here. You have to have something here. Right? So when Jen don't do nothing like super fancy. She just understands the basics of servicing a product in their systems. Does that make sense? So if you find, I really don't even believe people when they say that, yo, I'm gonna come on the team and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And this thing comes out of the air and then a unicorn comes and like, I'm just doing this fancy stuff. Just give me the basics. Because I know if you master the basics or master the fundamentals of what you're talking about. So my man David, who runs our ads, it's fancy to me, but he just understands, well, you put a pixel on your website. I'm like, what's a pixel? He said, just gathers data. I'm like, okay, cool. He said, people go to the website and the pixel gathers data about the person and it builds a profile of the ideal person that comes to this website. Mm-hmm. So basically, you just have to have something that's going to tell us about the person that's coming to this website. And then we start running ads based on the data that the pixel collected.
Basic.
In an ads class, that's the start, right? Anybody in ads? That's the basic. That's the first thing you learn, right? Like, let's just figure out how to target the right person. But people don't, I know all of us, we really don't know what our problem is. So we can't pinpoint the problem to find the basics. I want an event with a good experience. I need to find someone who understands the basics of giving someone a good experience. You have to have some food if you have somebody here for a long period of time. Basics. Mm-hmm. And some of you, I don't think you have mastered the basic fundamentals of what you do. We're trying to get into funnels and systems, and you haven't mastered the basics of what you do. The basics of having a beauty product. Like B. Simone said, I wanted to make sure the product was something that I like. She didn't say nothing about target market. She didn't say nothing about marketing. She didn't say nothing about demographic. She didn't say nothing about launch strategy. She said, the first thing I want to make sure is if don't nobody buy it, I just got 1,000 lip glosses that I like. Basics. Because if I like it, there's 1 million people like me that like it.
Yeah. At every level that you go to or grow through, you'll be starting over at the basics. So when you first start your business, it's the basics of what it takes to even get your business started, right? Mm-hmm. Then it's the basics of creating your product or sourcing your product, creating your service. Then it's the basics of putting systems in place so you can fulfill. But then it's the basics of doing more advanced level stuff. Like even at the most advanced level, you still have to break it down into its most basic process, 100%. Right? You've got ads. How many people in here just don't understand ads? You've logged into Facebook Business Manager and you're like, what is this?
How many people dumped a bunch of money in ads and you're like, ads don't work?
Ads don't work. Ads are trash. This is a scam.
Facebook will take your money, for sure.
Facebook will take your money even when your ads are working. All right. So at every single level, there are basics. So if you're at a level in your business and you're confused or it seems like you're going backwards or you're not keeping up with your orders, your customer service is getting out of whack, and always break it back down to the basics. Okay, guys, stop all of this extra stuff. So, if we've got high level customer service things where we've got groups and Slack channels and this and this and this, stop it and serve people at the basic level first. Because if you can accommodate the basic need, if you can identify the root of the problem, which is the basics, then you can start to fix things. Like you want to give people something to work with. Okay, at basic level, I'm getting my emails, I'm getting my Facebook group, and we're doing our calls on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. The Slack channel may not be working, but I am still being serviced, right? And then you start to improve upon those things. But sticking to the basics is really, really important.
That's a fact. And just having the patience to develop, like you said, just sticking to the basics on every level. The first thing I think a man learns in dressing up is what? What are the basics? Your shoes need to match your belt. No, y'all ain't learn that? Y'all ain't learn that part? Your shoes need to match your belt.
I'm looking into the audience, and there are factually a couple of people who missed. I'm playing, y'all. I don't see anybody's belt.
Like in terms of like suit, tie, your shoes should match your belt, right?
Yeah.
But once you got, really, that start will at least have you on the first level of fashion. Mm-hmm. First level. Now, your colors might be off, but at least the shoe matches that belt. And then you learn, okay, when you learn how to tie a tie, the tie at the bottom should touch the bottom of your belt. If you have these three things, you'll look put together. If your shoes match your belt and your tie touches the top of your belt, you're good. And then you can kind of start working on, okay, different colors, then color blocking, then fits and things of that nature. But just mastering, like just get successful at some first level. I know how many people came here and was like, yo, I want to do an event. We're going to have 300 people there. And you got this vision. Just raise your hand. I know you did. How many people caught that vision? Y'all didn't catch a vision being here? Okay, raise your hand in. All right, good. You caught that, right? And that's fine. But we need to know where we are. I know what you're thinking. How the heck do you make money from a podcast? Is David just doing this podcast because he likes it, or there's a heavily monetized strategy attached to it? Well, it's both. I really love talking and interviewing people and getting free game from really successful people. But also, this is a 7-figure podcast. I'm telling you right now, there's so much money in podcasting, and we're early in the space. I really feel like it's 2009, and I'm telling you to buy Bitcoin. I'm right now telling you to start podcasting because in 5-10 years, it's skyrocketing. Those are the names that are going to be the ones who have the voices in our world, the ones that start a podcast right now, okay? So I put together everything I know about podcasting in an easily digestible program, okay? So go to podcastersblueprint.com, and you know I got to give y'all some love, okay? Enter code SOCIALPROOF. I'm taking 20% off so you can get your voice heard, all right? So this podcast that you're loving and enjoying, there's other people that's going to love and enjoy yours too, okay? Podcastersblueprint.com. Let's get back to the episode. How can I make X amount of sales on a regular basis? Let's just master that level. Y'all know my story. Can I tell my story?
You were going to tell it anyway.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So working at Cheesecake Factory, the $100 off days, right? Where my ultimate goal was to make $100 on my off days. Before I could make 6 figures, my goal was to get consistent with making $100 in t-shirt sales on every off day. So I had 2 off days per week. My goal, now I wasn't even calculating the shirts I sold throughout the week. But my goal was to make $100 on each off day. So if I'm making this $200 a week, I'm happy. And my goal was to sustain that. Not to make 6 figures, but can I sustain it? Because I did it this week, but I ain't do it the next week. I did it the next week, but I ain't do it the following week. Or I made $200 on one off day, and I made nothing on the second off day. And then I got excited about that because I changed my own goal from $100 off days to $200 a week because I got satisfied in my failure. So I realized if I say I'm going to walk by this pond and throw a stone in the pond every day, I don't skip a few days, then go back and dump stones in the pond. That doesn't help anybody. So I had to get consistent with the 100. I don't care how much I make on the first off day. The second off day, I need another 100. And then I sustain that. And then I said, okay, I feel like I've mastered this particular level. And I called my boss and asked him if I can have 3 off days. Because I trusted myself with 2 off days. And I feel like, okay, now I can stretch. I didn't say, yo, I'm consistent. I'm going to quit my job. I'm successful. Yo, these off days is easy. I'm out. I just need 1 more day. Slow expansion. This is a process of 2.5 years of me being on my job, transitioning out. Mastering the level that I'm on. I just want to master that level, the level that I was on. So I want to know what you guys feel like a basic is that you can master. And let me get somebody to the mic. I want to know what is a basic that you need to master right now? Because I know you're trying to jump up the stairs, but you need to figure out how do we get to the next step? Go for it.
Bruce Hill, New Skills, New You. What's the basic?
What is a basic that you need to master now?
Asking better questions.
Good. Good. That's good. Clap that up. Asking better questions. Tell you.
The basic I need to master is documenting my processes consistently. Every time I do something, get to the next one, write it down, and get to the next one, write it down.
This is basics.
That's good stuff.
Yo, Donni, this is the kind of stuff that changes people's lives, right?
This is the kind of stuff that changes people's lives. What she just said, documenting the process, like Literally, I became so focused on documenting my process this year. It changed everything. I've documented my process. So I have documented my process for as long as I know, like even before I was full-time in entrepreneurship. So when I wrote my first book, people are like, how did you write your first book in 24 hours? Because I was able to refer back to all of this documentation that I've taken over time. When I produced my course while I had COVID, people are like, how did you write this whole course when that was going on? It was simple. I went back to the documentation of things that I had already been doing. Like, I didn't have to think about it. Nobody wants to hear that, though. Nobody wants to hear that the key to your success will be in your documentation. Nobody wants to hear it. The reason that David called me Wednesday morning, I think it was Thursday morning, and said, hey, I need you to come to the podcast, to the content creation boot camp and teach. I told Javon, send me all of David's training topics. I got it. I was able to get on that stage and train. Why? Because I have documented this process and I talk about the same things over and over and over and over again. I might deliver it differently. I dress differently. We might focus longer on one area than the other, but a real value add, a real valuable person, a real authority, a real expert has this information mastered. And I can go and review my notes very, very quickly. Joe, I asked you for a table on stage to put my notebook, right? Because what I needed to teach about was documented. So when I had to talk for an hour that Joe and Christina didn't tell me about, like, yo, what happened to my 20 minutes? Oh, it's an hour? Okay, Joe, all I need is a table to put my documentation on so I can train from that. Could you imagine how much more successful you'd be in your processes and training people and hiring people and duplicating your process if you were documented? It's a basic, but when you hire a coach and you pay them thousands of dollars and they say, oh, I see what the problem is. You need to document. People will look at you like, I know I didn't just pay you to tell me that the problem that I'm having is in my documentation. I know I didn't just pay you to tell me that the problem that I'm having is clarity. Mm-hmm. Clarity is like a 4-letter nasty word. Ma'am, I'm not paying you all this money for clarity.
Clarity is definitely more than 4 letters.
That is how they treat it. They treat it like a 4-letter nasty word. Y'all, David is a little...
I don't want to miss the... I just want to get clear.
He's a little remedial in real life, you guys. Remedial. Anyway. Next.
Real quick, I want to also just kind of touch on that documentation. Like, again, that's a basic, right?
It's
just write down what you did. That's a basic, right? Look how powerful this is. Imagine if you saw all your activity for the over this year, all of 2001. Imagine you could see it on paper. How many times you tried to make a sale and how many sales you actually made. Imagine January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. You could see it. How powerful would that be for your business? Why? Because we can see the months that we didn't make any money and we can ask ourselves what happened in that month? Mm-hmm. And then we can see the spikes and say, oh, hold on. Okay, what happened in this month? We can see the spikes. The ultimate goal for, like, right now, we're going into, for the podcast, is we're looking for bigger names. Mm-hmm. So you guys enjoy the people that you don't really know who they are. They just give good information. But I'm looking for bigger names now. Why do you think I'm doing that? I'm looking at the analytics. Dame Dash, there was a spike. I get a big name, there's a spike. Grant Cardone, there was a spike. He didn't even give me my most views, but for the channel, spike. So the celebrities don't get the best views on my channel, but I'm looking at the documentation. I'm looking at the process. I can see over the year where these hits happen. It's a basic.
And can I cut you off this time? Okay. So not even just that. Let me tell you some other areas that documentation is going to serve you in your business. So obviously looking at the analytics and understanding where your opportunities to grow are. But when you start doing more and more business, you're going to have things like disputes and chargebacks happening. And the more documentation you collect, the more documentation you force your client or customer to provide, the more documentation you've kept in that process, the more disputes and chargebacks you're going to win. Why is that important? It's really important because you don't want to be without a merchant account. You have so many in a period of time, they will shut you down and say, hey, we can't process payments for you anymore. Or for like people who are in a service-based industry, I'm sure someone has heard, well, I don't really know if I'm getting the results. I've heard it before. Really? Okay, well, let me walk you back to 6 months ago when you were making $3,000 a month. Now, I know you're feeling yourself now because the last 4 months you've been doing $30,000 a month. But do you remember your start? Do you remember your start? Or I have a client right now who's struggling right now, where they feel like they're struggling right now. We've worked together now for 2 years. This is our second winter together. And he's like, yo, things are slowing down. And I'm like, are things slowing down? Or is this just the season of your business? Is this just what happens in your industry? Let's go back and review the documentation from this time last year and this time the year before, right? Well, I have been telling him time and time again, let's put some other things in place because you do run a seasonal business, right? And because typically your business slows down between the months of November and January, now let's create maybe a coaching program where you can be teaching during your off-peak time and you don't notice the missing money. You're making the same amount or even more money. But I had to literally show him the history of what's been documented over time and saying, we can do two things. We can create an opportunity here for you to figure out how to offset this money, or you can just accept the fact that this is your slow season. This is your off-peak season. That happens. Fur coats don't sell the same in the summer as they do in the winter. So what do? Well, do you just sell fur coats? Sure. Or maybe do you introduce a windbreaker to sell in the summer? The documentation, though, will not just help you to be a better entrepreneur. It will help you save yourself. It will help you determine if you need to create different offers. And it'll make this madness that goes on in the CEO's head make sense. You can be like, oh, you know what? I wasn't tripping. My bad. This actually is what happened. Or I wasn't tripping while I might have been making $30,000 a month for 3 months. And it looks like my growth strategy isn't working. What I did notice by looking at the documentation was, even though it's been $30,000 a month for the last 3 months, my profit margins have increased from 10% to 15% to 60%. Did we grow? But sometimes when we're so in our heads, all you see is what's in front of you. So your documentation will save you. It'll save you.
That's a fact.
All right. So what I'm focused on right now is for establishing my basic is consistently establishing my weekly and daily activity based on my revenue goals for the month.
That's a basic.
I like it.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Hold on. Yes,
he did a walk off like he did something deep just now.
16? We can't do 30 minutes? 30 more? Oh, we're over the time? Okay. All right. I'm sorry.
All right. One more. And y'all can stay. Maybe we have something else.
Quickly, just we can run through them real quickly. You're basic, because I just want you to say it. We got 16 minutes.
Total?
16 minutes left. Go for it.
I am need to get more into the social media marketing and trying to get into building my business that way, and also probably
No. What is a basic that you need to master right now?
That I need my social media content, which I know you're gonna say I didn't get to come to.
I don't know what that is. What is a basic what is something very basic that you need to do on a consistent basis that you need to master? Social media content isn't a basic. A basic could be posting something every day.
Posting something every day. I was just going to say that.
Okay, so what's the basics that you need to master?
Posting something every day.
No matter what it is?
Yes, no matter what it is.
What if you don't think it's good?
I want it to be something.
What if it doesn't get views?
If it doesn't get views, I really don't care about if it doesn't get views, but I just...
But you don't want to put something out there that people don't like, right?
Exactly. And I'm kind of not sure about what to put out
there. Failed that test,
I think that's why I don't post.
So check this out. The thing that you need to post is getting yourself to post every day. Regardless whether you like it, whether other people like it, you need to develop the habit of doing the thing every day. Yeah. Because if you do the thing every day, you'll get better at the thing that you're doing every day. Mm-hmm. Period. I've never seen it not happen.
Yes. Period.
I've never seen somebody do the same thing every day and they get worse at it.
Absolutely.
Good. All right. Somebody hold her accountable, okay? Basic.
Great blessings, everybody. My thing is just to...
Grand Rising King.
Stay woke.
I definitely just need to review the play.
Say it again?
I just definitely need to review the play.
Review what play?
What I've done prior to what I failed on, what I've done good at.
Once a month? Once a week? Once a day? Once every 3 days? Only when you do something right?
Once a week. I need to review the play once a week.
What day?
What is the play, though? Like, what do you mean? Are you looking back at video? Are you pulling reports?
I'm looking back at now. Most of my appointments now are on Zoom. I'm reviewing my Zoom recordings, going back how I actually presented the information, how I answered a question that people needed. Was I trying to over-educate, or would I actually seeing the person that was talking and actually understanding the problem?
Hey, you guys, write this down. Review my data once a week, minimally. Review my data once a week, minimally. We don't have to be underperforming or failing in our businesses for an extended period of time. Sometimes the evidence is going to be right in front of you. So...
Was it Aaron? Did you, Aaron? No?
This what we doing on this side of the room?
All right, come on. Let's
I just want clarity. I just want clarity. Okay. So what is the data? So someone said earlier talking about social media, right? Okay, write this down. Posting on social media alone is not a strategy. Going live on social media alone is not a strategy. Doing reels on social media alone is not a strategy. It's just not enough to grow your business. Do you look at your analytics?
Absolutely.
How often?
Every day.
Every day. I'm just asking you to get in the habit of doing it once a week, right? Because sometimes you actually can be doing activity every single day and still underperforming or not getting a result because the activity that you're doing is wrong. You might be doing the wrong activity. It might look right. Okay, so I'm going to post 3 times a day, every single day. Sounds like the right activity, right? If you want to get some social media engagement. But what if you're posting the wrong things 3 times a day? Mm-hmm. What if you're consistently posting the thing or the type of content that your audience is telling you every single time they're not feeling it? Mm-hmm. Right? So a couple of things from a social media perspective that you can be looking at. Number one, just your normal insights on your post, right? It will tell you how much engagement you got, how many people are finding you from the explore page, how many people are sharing your post. Guess what? This value content that we're putting out there, if nobody is sharing it, they don't see it as value. Facts. So maybe we need to come from a different angle. And telling someone that you have a 6-week accelerator or a 5-day course or that's not value. When you're posting your content, you're focused on the result, but that's a whole other lesson. Let me tell you some other things to look at. Your links. Anybody have like a link tree or a custom link in their bio? Whether it's Shopify, Linktree, WordPress, ClickFunnels, whatever it is, they have an analytics area on their platform. It will tell you how many times your link has been clicked. Even more than that, it will tell you which links of all those link clicks are being clicked the most. So if it's me, right? So wrong activity would be if your coaching program link is clicked the most, but you keep talking about your ebook?
All right, look, I know you're enjoying the episode, but I got to tell you, finally, you asked for it, and we created a Patreon, okay? We created an inner circle. We have amazing stories, amazing information, how-tos from the episodes. The only thing we're missing is a community. So it's about that time. We put together our Patreon, we put together a community because we have to have conversation around the information. So even this podcast we're listening to right now, there needs to be conversation. I want to hear what you got. I want to hear what you got. Like, let's throw some stuff back and forth. And because we're like-minded, we're all going in the same direction. When we connect in a community, we can connect on other stuff outside the community because we're building real relationships. Okay, so check out the Patreon. We got 3 tiers. I don't care what tier you join. The support is appreciated. Okay, thank you so much. Now back to the episode. Wow.
Right? And you're wondering why you're not generating sales. Well, people want to know more about the coaching program specifically. Were you saying something?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. People want to know more about the coaching program. So these analytics are really, really important. And then even going deeper and saying, well, when they are on my website, what are they clicking on and where are they staying the longest? So let's say your ads aren't working. Well, don't say your ads aren't working. Are they clicking from the ad to the funnel? Yes. Okay. So that's working. Are they going from the funnel to your opt-in page? Yes. Okay. That's working. Then they're going from the opt-in page to watching your video. That's where you lost them. Something might be wrong with that video. Let's redo the video. Is it too long? Does it take too long to get to the point? Is your lighting bad? Does it look low budget and you're selling something high ticket? The analytics. It's not just about doing activity every single day. It's about being smart and doing the right activity every single day. Being in environments like this help you understand what the right activity actually is. Because if you don't know what the activity is, it's not really your fault, right? But once you've been told what that data is, once you've been told what that right activity is, then it becomes your fault if you don't just do it. Then I'm going to say, well, is this a business for you or a hobby?
Mm-hmm.
The right stuff. So when you say you're going to go back and look, what are you looking at specifically? Okay, I'm going to review my Zoom calls. Why? What am I looking for? Right? Am I trying to identify why I had a Zoom call but didn't get the close? Or am I trying to identify why I had the Zoom call, got the close, but it was the wrong type of client?
Facts.
I analyze sales calls. Like if I notice that I'm getting some chargebacks, like I've gotten some chargebacks, I want to know, did the salesperson force that sale? Did they beg for it? Like, no, come on, like you really need to do this. You really, really need to do this. I know that if you force a sale in that way, they're going to charge back more than not. So then that creates an opportunity for me to train if necessary. You got to know what you're looking for, why you're looking for it, and what you want. Like, what are you trying to reverse or do more of?
And I just wanted to say this on camera. If you ever do a chargeback, I'm blocking you.
Period.
Just to let you know.
Wait, what?
Just to let you know. All right. Cool. Let's keep it moving.
Hi, I'm Jasmine.
Hey, Jasmine.
I need to stick to my daily work schedule consistently.
Okay. Your daily work schedule. Also, I guess you outline what you're going to do.
I map it out.
Good.
And
that's basic, ain't it?
Basic, yeah.
Basic. So I want you to lock in on that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Good stuff, Jazz. Chris, what up?
Christine, number curls, developing a process of following up with my customers after the sale.
Good. And that could be a habit. Following up after each sale. I love it.
Hi, I'm Kayla. Kind of already been said,
Kayla?
but Kayla.
Kayla. Okay.
Yes. Staying consistent in my post around the topics that my audience told me they want.
That seems pretty basic, right?
Mm-hmm.
You keep giving people what they ask for.
Mm-hmm.
But us as entrepreneurs and creatives, we want to do all kind of stuff, don't we? But that's what? It's basic. Man, listen, if y'all start mastering these basics, everything in your life is going to change.
You know what I'm thinking about right now, Shans? So me and David
I wasn't done. If you...
He is spicy today.
Proceed.
Me and Shans have a business meeting like once every 2 weeks. we never accomplish what's on our agenda.
It's crazy.
We never accomplish what's on our agenda. And what's on our agenda is basic. It's basic stuff, right? Well, the problem until last week, we did it last week. But the problem has been we've never identified the basics of what we're trying to accomplish. It has been, we need to have our business meeting and we'll meet, we'll talk something, we never resolve it, and we end up in the Gucci store. That's how our meetings are. I think our basic needs to be going forward, we don't meet at the mall.
And yes. And then she tried to implement that too. She was like, bro, we can't meet at a restaurant. Because if we meet at a restaurant, we're going to start ordering food. She's going to tell me about her relationship life. I'm telling about Dre, and she's going to coach me on my marriage and all kind of stuff. Hey, boo, my wife is here. Andrea, she's still like that?
I think she walked out.
Well, get them claps ready because we definitely going to acknowledge her, and I'm going to need y'all to know. Y'all got to clap again, okay? So she knows that I
No, we mean again when she can see it.
I need
to see it.
I need the points. I need the points. But anyway, we started talking about our life. The problem is we friends.
That's the problem.
I think we need a mediator.
Y'all, this is my real life brother. Do you hear me? We're friends in real life. So we just start talking about concerts and experiences. Everything. We have literally been working on a business idea. It took us about 6 months just to finalize a name.
Yeah. And that's what?
It's basic.
It's basic. But so we're going to make a commitment.
We got the name now.
We got it, but we need to, the basics of a meeting is you have an agenda and you talk about the stuff that you're supposed to talk about on the list.
So is our basic going to be renting an office space for our meeting day?
I mean, the thing is, I'm just so in love with my wife.
I know.
And
she's so amazing.
About it. So,
Dre is amazing.
I'm just trying to say.
David, I have to believe that Dre coming into your life literally upgraded you as a business person and a man.
Absolutely. I would not be the man I am too bad because she left out the room. And I wanted to tell her.
She missed this.
So I wanted to tell her, you know what I mean? But okay, maybe I'll tell her later that
I'm going to text her and let her know.
About her, yeah.
You love just give me 3 things that you love about her.
Man, she is an awesome mother. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. She takes care of our children in spite of my inefficiencies.
Ooh. Okay, that's one.
She's the backbone to everything that I do.
Yes.
She's so encouraging.
Somebody go out there and find Dre for me real quick. She needs to hear this. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. I'm just pouring out my heart.
Yeah.
I don't need her to hear it.
Okay. It's between me and you.
Yeah, it's just between me.
Okay.
There's an authentic moment for me.
Yeah. Okay. Give me one more. That was 2. Give me one more.
And she continues to encourage me as the man I need to be. Even when I'm down and depressed, she really tries to find out what is the root? Because I always say I'm fine and everything's okay. And she pushes and pushes and pushes to find out if I'm truly okay. So I really feel loved.
I remember you were telling me that when you met Dre and she came into your life, it was like, it made sense why it didn't work out with anybody else.
You remember that?
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, maybe we'll tell her one day.
Yeah, we'll share that with her. Anybody, if y'all see Dre, just let her know what's up.
Just keep my feelings about her in this room, okay?
Oh that's not what this is about. Dre!
Dre is here! Oh, God! She's here! Oh, man.
You weren't supposed to hear that, girl. That was girl talk for us at midnight one night. Me and Dre be on the phone, y'all. Listen, Dre carried me through this week.
Oh, man. I started thinking of my wife. I forgot what we were talking about.
Yeah. I forgot too. Okay, you go next.
Okay.
First off,
the basics. Okay, listen. We are going to have an agenda and stick to the agenda. No side conversations. No random stuff.
Yeah. And the basics work everywhere because if I were having a team meeting, I would have an agenda. When I get with my clients, we have an agenda. But I treat David like my friend. So when we get together and we meet, our favorite thing to do is eat and shop.
Oh, but you didn't try. She was like, yo, we're not going to go to a restaurant.
I tried to tell him when we met.
The crazy thing is I texted her, I said, okay, meet me at the complex. She said, no, but I'm hungry. I'm like,
No, what happened happened was earlier I said, hey, Dave, let's do our meeting, but let's not go to a restaurant that's attached to the mall. And David said, I don't know about that, sis. I'm going to need to eat. So I didn't eat thinking we were going to meet. So when we were about to meet, he texted me and he's like, let's meet at the complex. Oh, no. Now I didn't eat. You said we needed to eat. We're going to eat.
We need to get it together.
We got there and got nothing done.
Absolutely nothing. Hey, Chris, so look, do we need to what if everybody helps clean up? Can we get like a few more minutes?
Well, here's the thing, Chris, in all seriousness, David is rich now. So whatever it costs, make that happen.
All right, thanks for coming out to the Social Group Bar.
Whatever the cost is, I got it. Meaning I'm going to make sure you get his card.
Oh, so they need a building. Okay. All right, cool. Real quick. Okay. Your basics. Real quick. Then we're going to wrap up.
Well, first, shout out Dre and everybody else who's married.
Okay. I like how you did that.
Second thing, my name's T, and my basics is I need to start trading only when the market is most vital. So between 9:30 and 11.
Right. That's basic for a trader, right?
Right.
For sure. See, ain't that amazing?
Right.
Yes, sir. All right. Let's keep it pushing because I don't want no problems.
Christoph from the Poet Life. My basics, I just started going live on IG. So I need to consistently go live on IG. It's been working.
I love it.
Yes.
That's a good basic.
Yes.
One more.
I need to prioritize my results over everybody else's.
You drop the mic and walk away. Yes. Absolutely. So, we're going to stick to what? We're going to stick to what? I promise you, if you start mastering some basics, your whole life will change. So we got to pay some bills.
We got to pay some bills.
You want to go first?
Nope.
Okay. Well, this episode is sponsored by The Morning Meetup, themorningmeetup.com. It's sponsored by themorningmeetup.com. The only organization that gathers every single day for the betterment of entrepreneurs. And now apparently y'all doing meetups and we doing get-togethers, annual stuff. So we're never going to stop this. This is basic for us. Okay, so go to themorningmeetup.com and enroll, be a part of our family. Donni.
This episode is also brought to you by Six Figure EDU. Hey! Six Figure EDU is the dopest community. Seriously, you guys, where I help and train and develop coaches and consultants from the very beginning. So you don't even have to know what it is that you want to do. We got you squared away inside of Six Figure EDU, and you can get that at sixfigureedu.com. This episode is also brought to you by Post to Paid.
I'll be watching the podcast. All right, let's fast. We got to go because...
David, really quickly, did you know?
Go, Donni. Let's go.
Did you know that I have the only community where you receive 3 text messages every single day with a post of exactly what to post on your social media page? I have single-handedly eliminated the overwhelm that's associated with what do I post to connect
I love it.
and convert my audience.
Let's go.
Text the words. First of all, ain't nobody the boss of me. Who overseeing the program?
Christina.
No, not Christina. We need the people. We just need to pay somebody something. Y'all want a
It
little
don't
bit
work
more
that way.
time?
Not right now.
Okay. Text post to paid to 404-737-2767. David be scared, y'all. We could get some more time.
Well, look, we're going to get this thing going. Okay. Thank y'all so much for coming. Make some noise. Morning meetup. Make some noise. All right. We are out of here. What if I told you for $1, I will introduce you to hundreds of entrepreneurs every single morning this week? From all across the country, you'll be able to talk to hundreds of entrepreneurs, and I'll coach you. I'll coach you for $1 this whole week, and I'll introduce you to some of my successful friends for $1 this week. Would you Would you take part in that? Well, go to themorningmeetup.com because that's exactly what we're doing here, okay? The only organization that gathers entrepreneurs every single day for the betterment of entrepreneurship, okay? Every single day, Monday through Friday, we gather, we're growing, we're learning. We got a book club. Have you ever seen hundreds of entrepreneurs reading the same book every single chapter, every single day? We're growing together, okay? You need the environment to grow in. Themorningmeetup.com, $1. I'm gonna give you all of this for $1. If you wanna stay, great. It's $79 a month after that. If not, no obligation. You can leave whenever you want. All right? themorningmeetup.com. I'll see you in the morning.